You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
AZ is setting Diddy up!
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did he
As a
help you?
competitor.
Explain it.
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with, that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor to perception.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge. He ain't running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She down like at me. She like, I said,
was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that. I was like,
Easy.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge. He ain't running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She down like at me. She like, I said,
Was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that. I was like, what?
A new storm is emerging, one that connects long-running rumors, recent scandals, and accusations that were once quietly overlooked. And at the center of it stands 50 Cent, a figure who has spent years challenging what he views as untouchable power within the entertainment industry, with Diddy often near the top of that list. But now, according to him, the story doesn't end with one person, as he's implying that the next wave of revelations could extend much further, involving some of the most influential figures in modern media, including Jay-Z, Beyonce, and even Oprah Winfrey. Names that have circulated in quiet discussions for years, but were rarely directly addressed until now, especially after 50 suggested he might possess new music high-impact footage connected to the same inner circle linked to the Diddy controversy, hinting that the recent documentary was only the first chapter before posting a message that spread rapidly across social media. You're next, sending fans into a frenzy as they connected the clues and questioned the timing, the targets, and the motive. Particularly considering long-standing speculation about a tightly guarded elite network music, built on influence, loyalty, and silence, made even more noticeable after the Netflix documentary highlighted decades of shared business relationships, private gatherings, and overlapping social circles among industry leaders' music, where the same influential names appeared repeatedly. And now with 50 Cent signaling that past relationships may no longer ensure protection, old stories, music, recordings, and accusations are being reconsidered in the public eye, raising the possibility that this developing chapter is only the start of something far larger.
Were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client but as a person, and tried to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape, And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifilo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifilo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with they couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifilo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument, whether you believe it or not. A jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it, and ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifilo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifilo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense. Because when Agnifilo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifilo he should keep going on that. And that the trial itself was absurd because the baby oil was really the punchline.
Fans also remembered that 50 Cent had earlier questioned whether certain influential groups in entertainment quietly shield their own members, with many linking this to his long-standing claims that power and loyalty often function behind closed doors. And now that conflict feels more intense than ever because 50 has repeatedly demonstrated he's prepared to bring everything into the public eye, especially after pulling the veil back on Diddy's private life through a documentary that reached worldwide audiences. Which is why his "You're Next" message wasn't brushed off as empty words, but viewed seriously. And to understand why it carried genuine impact, you have to examine the long-standing rivalry between 50 Cent and Jay-Z that goes back to the early 2000s when music industry competition and conflicting ambitions first placed them against each other, with reports claiming Jay-Z once attempted to slow 50's rise by discouraging important connections and even mentioning him publicly during major performances. Moments that strengthened their conflict and made sure it never completely disappeared. As over time their careers moved in very different directions, with Jay-Z becoming a reserved powerhouse working through brands, partnerships, and elite circles music, while 50 developed into a bold disruptor growing his empire through media, business, and outspoken public commentary representing music, two entirely different approaches to influence. One built on secrecy, the other on speaking openly, which is exactly why when 50 suggests revealing something, people pay attention, because history has shown he rarely retreats.
50 Cent has set his sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it, saying the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And Jay-Z is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why Jay-Z's been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because Jay-Z was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that Jay-Z's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean. That maybe there's something on Jay-Z's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z for quite some time, talking about Jay-Z is manipulative and he steals, and he's been pushing a narrative, and that Roc Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when Jay-Z went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyonce never won Album of the Year and complained about that. Literally the following year, Beyonce wins Album of the Year, which is just something like that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that Jay-Z controls. It's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, as to Roc Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget Jay-Z would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed Jay-Z, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So Jay-Z's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is Jay-Z involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a Jay-Z documentary. And it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram he posted a drawing of Jay-Z that kind of makes fun of his looks, and he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not gonna post it." Basically making a joke, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post, and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right, Dom Kanmada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, whatever, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself, and I showed him the photo, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. Well, appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him for, responding to my DM and confirming that, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, or whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There's also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to Jay-Z that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at Jay-Z, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with Jay-Z with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at Jay-Z for...
As the years passed, Jay-Z kept building stronger relationships with some of the most influential people in entertainment, including Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, music, and executives connected to major corporate and media organizations. While 50 Cent observed from the sidelines and reacted whenever he believed something was being quietly overlooked, often using biting humor, music, critical commentary, or mysterious online posts to communicate his point clearly. Yet music, this moment seemed different, because for the first time, he appeared to deliver a direct warning to Jay-Z, implying he could be holding information that might impact the Carters. A move that immediately grabbed fans' attention, since 50 is recognized for supporting his statements with action, rarely making accusations without evidence. Music, which is why online attention quickly turned toward Jay-Z and Beyonce, triggering widespread discussion and speculation. And this is where Oprah's name became part of the spotlight as many started questioning her unexpected connection to the same group, pointing to revived conversations about previous criticism and 50's long history of confronting her influence, including his claims that she applied criticism unevenly, focusing on certain individuals while ignoring others, mentioning her earlier investigative work, and revisiting personal conflicts from earlier in his career. All of which, in the opinion of his supporters, helps explain why her name is now included in the discussion, and why many think this situation could reach far beyond any one individual.
Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward.
But the story goes even deeper as over the years, several public figures have voiced concerns about how Oprah Winfrey managed certain interviews and professional relationships, with Ludacris once stating his responses were edited and his music choices were criticized during a film promotion. Dave Chappelle later saying that his struggles were portrayed as paranoia rather than genuine pressure. Monique claiming she experienced career obstacles after Precious and Tara G.P. Henson music, revealing she was heavily underpaid for her role in The Color Purple, narratives that 50 Cent has frequently supported by pointing to what he considers a pattern of selective accountability. While further criticism followed reports surrounding the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa during the late 2000s and early 2010s, attracting major media attention. And although more recent online rumors attempting to link Oprah to extreme accusations were later disproven, the remaining controversy has continued to shape public perception. Which is why after 50's high-profile documentary aimed at one influential figure and his statement that future revelations may include unexpected names, music fans now think Oprah could be involved in what comes next. Especially considering how closely her path has intersected with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy over the years through interviews, events, public support, and charity appearances that once appeared ordinary, but are now being reconsidered together as many viewers begin to question whether these repeated associations music reveal a deeper network of influence now returning to the spotlight.
Beyonce didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is, there she go back there with Monica and Kelly, and there go Patti LaBelle, and then there goes Solange, all right? And there's a reason why Solange is around as well. Because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now, they're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body. All right. Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z. Okay. Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two. Brandy and Jay-Z. Now this would have been from let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now this picture of them was in 2002. All right, and this was I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well, and Blue Cantrell. He was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying it low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with. He piped you down, but before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where'd the picture go? Wait a minute. Where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with, okay? Jay-Z was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We're sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for... That was what he gave. He gave big... I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like... For the ladies that's watching, you know, like, if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. It was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Jay-Z dated a lot of your favorite female stars from back in the day, but they would not claim
relationship. Collaborating on music, appearing at private events, and operating within the same elite circles where influence and opportunity often move discreetly behind closed doors. Music and many believe these exclusive spaces operate as closely protected networks that share resources, loyalty, and protection, which according to 50 Cent are now beginning to experience real pressure. A perception that became stronger after Ray J suggested that influential figures connected to Diddy were worried about the existence of hidden recordings, and we're quietly working behind the scenes as old relationships and connections are being reconsidered. Many believe those once viewed as untouchable are now stepping into a far more intense and exposed spotlight.
The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that?
Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
He didn't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. He got some shit. He started drinking. His pictures with him like, he thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated
differently.
The accolades
Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
He didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it was like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. His proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
That was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
Hold on. Proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit parade word. I had to learn that.
Do you think you knew all of the shit that was going on? Yeah, that was like a...
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way you said it...
Like I said...
No matter how you answer that, you snitching.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a nice kind of question.
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but it's one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
It's a great question.
Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Lechimendewa.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
That's the Branson lifestyle. You're going to be outside.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. Or to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink.
But this is why 50 Cent's warning carries genuine impact, because it isn't based on random gossip, but on years of visible associations that connect opera's lingering controversies, Diddy's scandals, Jay-Z's silence, and Beyonce's carefully managed image into one delicate network of influence. And 50 has made it clear that Hollywood's power systems no longer intimidate him, as he appears determined to challenge and expose what he believes has remained hidden for far too long. Proving that the Diddy documentary was never intended to affect only one person, but to create a much larger ripple effect that now places anyone who worked with him, attended his private parties, or operated within his inner circle under greater public scrutiny, including artists, producers, music, models, actors, and even political figures. Which is why his promise of additional documentaries quietly sent waves of concern throughout the industry. Not because everyone has something to conceal, but because 50 is known for investigating deeply without concern for status, leading to behind-the-scenes reviews of old incidents, carefully updated statements, sudden absences from certain events, and the quiet deletion of past photos. Moves that only increased public curiosity and raised difficult questions about who knew what, who recognized warning signs, and who decided to remain silent. Especially after the documentary exposed a long history of troubling behavior that several insiders later admitted they had sensed for years, leaving one unavoidable question hanging in the air. Who else was aware, and who else ignored it? As fans now believe more names may be music, brought into the spotlight with every thread 50 continues to uncover.
The Reckoning, the 50 Cent Diddy doc. First and foremost, we've been talking about this thing, Jack, for going on 2 years now, and once again, thank you for even being, I guess you could say, a beacon during this whole conversation, as far as kind of spreading light on a lot of things that go down in the industry that, you know, the normal person may not even see or hear about, that happens in the day-to-day. Did you really think 50 Cent, when he first mentioned it, that there was an actual documentary being worked on?
Well, see, this is the thing. I can believe that it was happening. At what purpose? See, and that's the thing. Like my opinion about all of this stuff is so much different than your average person's, and my outlook is so much different than your average person's. Did I believe that it was possible? Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be able to do a documentary? Why wouldn't he be able to bring in Alexandria to come and put this together? Like, the woman who directed this, she doesn't even seem to have a background in hip hop at all.
That makes sense.
So it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I mean, for crying out loud, Diddy sent him freak off videos.
True. Very true.
Interviews
Very true.
about it.
Did you feel that just 50 Cent's name being attached to it again? These are two, as everyone knows, the three names in hip hop are Jay-Z, Diddy, 50 Cent when it comes to the status of where you could get as a business or a brand.
I guess so.
So for the top three individuals, for one to go at the other and release this doc, I don't know, what does that say to again, I keep asking about the hip hop state of things. What does that say to hip hop? Like, are we our own downfall? I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on what you consider hip hop. Like, I don't consider any of this debauchery, any of this animalistic crap. I don't consider any of this hip hop. I grew up in hip hop. You know, I know what hip hop culture is, and it's none of this stuff that people are selling.
I mean, when did it stop being hip hop? We're gonna go through the documentary itself, but when did it stop?
It stopped being hip hop when it became corporatized. It stopped being hip hop when certain groups of people saw that they could use it to influence the mass public. When people saw how influential hip hop was, it became very clear. Once upon a time, not long ago, where people wore pajamas and lived life still, you know, the laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to good. There lived a little boy, and he was misled by another little boy, and this is what he said: "Me and you, can we go make some cash, robbing old folks and making a dash?"
Come on.
Like, they did the job, and money came with ease, but one couldn't stop us like he had a disease. He robbed another and another, and a sister and a brother. Tried to rob a man who was a detective under.
Fans are now questioning whether this moment could reshape public trust in the entertainment elite, with some wondering if the next documentary will transform careers, harm reputations, and put pressure on long-standing partnerships, music, while others even believe it could spark widespread industry disruption. Yet one thing remains obvious to everyone when this new footage is finally released. Will Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Oprah be ready for how the public reacts and what it could reveal? So share your thoughts in the comments. Hit subscribe if you want to stay updated on every development. And until next time, music fam, stay alert and keep watching.